let me think about it because I'm the one like jumping from the ceiling.
You guys don't have a team name.
You know what? We need a team name.
There was a shocking news in 2019.
I'm like, wait, what happened in 2019? Oh, like, you shouldn't be upset. You did really good for a girl. Oh, no, I'm not going to cry. It's fine.
Welcome everyone to Ring the Belle. This is DS and I'm here with the iconic, the mighty Kacy Catanzaro.
Oh, wow, what a good intro. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm in awe right now because like whenever I see you in the ring, it's always so like mind-blowing to see you in person. This is wild.
Because I'm smaller than you thought?
No, that's not
because
it.
a lot of people say that. A lot of people, I thought that it was pretty like well known I was small. Anybody I meet in real life, they're like, you're so much smaller than I thought. I'm like, really?
That's kind of good.
I know.
You seem so mighty on TV.
I'll take it. I will take it.
Now, I still remember the first time I saw you, Mae Young Classic, because that was like mind-blowing. Some of the stuff that you're doing was like something we've never seen in women's division.
And that was not long after I had gotten signed and I had never wrestled before. So like my match, like just recently on Twitter, like the one with Rhea Ripley has been going around and stuff. And I'm like, I don't think people realize like how long ago that was and how that was like my second match on TV was the Mae Young Classic.
That's
like I
wild.
had never been on normal NXT TV or anything. It was like the Mae Young Classic was just like they needed women and we were there and they were like, here you go. It was crazy.
With Raquel and
Rhea.
Yeah.
Yep, they were my first two. So Raquel was my very first match on TV, which was the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah.
She was also my very first live event match.
Wow.
That luckily I got to have before that actually. But so she has a very special place in my heart. She has a lot of firsts with me. She's always been very good to me.
I think some of the wrestling fans really need the refresher because you're a history maker when it comes to American Ninja Warrior.
American Ninja Warrior, it's crazy to think about because just recently actually somebody was pulling up something and it said the date on it and I'm like, does that say 2014? I'm sorry, that's like 11 years ago. So whenever I talk about it, I kind of forget that it was that long ago. If it wasn't for American Ninja Warrior, I don't know that I would be here because really, I mean, that kind of got me out there. It was so many years ago and I was very lucky to be at the evolution of women in American Ninja Warrior. So it was really cool when, you know, WWE had me come here for the Mae Young Classic because they kind of pulled me in that way. Like they were like, hey, we're kind of doing something similar here where we're really having the women show out and get their chance. And so they saw me on American Ninja Warrior and they were like, we think that you could do something really big here as well. So
because you were a history maker. It's the first ever woman to compete city finals and you have a record that was unbeatable for 5 years.
It's crazy because I remember actually I did gymnastics my whole life through college. I graduated, I got surgery on my ankle and I was like laying there on the couch in my cast watching American Ninja Warrior. I loved it since I was, you know, young. And I was watching it and they kept saying, no woman's ever done it. No woman's ever completed the course. They never made it up the warp wall, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm laying there in my cast like, wow, I feel like maybe I could do that. I don't know. Like maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I could do it. I don't know. Because from gymnastics to obstacles, like it kind of made sense. So, you know, chase that dream. My first year, I didn't make it. I competed. I got to the obstacle right before the warped wall. And I'll never forget, one of the guy ninjas said to me, I think he thought he was saying something nice to me. I was a little bit offended, but I'm also really grateful because it made me like want to come back and try even harder. He said to me, oh, like you shouldn't be upset. You did really good for a girl.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I actually wish I could remember who it was because I tell this story a lot. And I remember being like, wow, I get that you think that that's a nice thing to say. I didn't say that. I said nothing. But like in my head, I'm like, I get that you think that's nice, but I don't want that to be a thing. I want it to just be like, you did great. You did awesome. Like there is no difference. You know what I mean? So, you know, trained really hard, came back the next year, was the first woman, shortest person to make it up the warp wall, finished the course, came back and finished the city finals course as well. So that will always have like a very special place in my heart because it definitely brought me to where I am now.
From history maker on American Ninja Warrior to WWE, that transition must be pretty tough, right?
Yes. I think background-wise, now you're seeing a lot of different backgrounds coming to WWE, and that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, just the difference of it. I mean, I had never been in like a contact sport before. You know what I mean? Growing up, I did gymnastics. That was all just myself. I could control everything. I could practice a million times and know exactly what I was going to do, even if it didn't always go that way. But, you know, same with American Ninja Warrior. It was just me in the course. Like, I could train. I could know what I was going to do. That was it. And then coming to WWE, not only physically is it so tough being in a contact sport, doing, you know, being a professional wrestler, but, you know, the schedule, everything, especially coming into developmental and NXT, when I walked into the Performance Center, I had never seen a wrestling ring in real life before.
Wow.
In my whole life.
Oh my God, yeah.
Ever. It's funny, actually, because when I started my class that started in the Performance Center with me,
Yeah.
everybody else had been wrestling for like 10 years.
Right.
Like Candice LeRae was in my class. Like War Raiders was in my class. Spud was in my class. Like people that I would look to my left and they would be like, decades have been wrestling. And I was just like, I'm going to roll. I'm going to do a forward roll. Like, I know how to do that. It was just... It was a very, very tough transition.
I'm so curious because like your style is so unique. Who do you even watch to get ideas and be so creative?
Oh, well, it's tough. I mean, I definitely watch as much as I can. I mean, Rey Mysterio has always been a huge inspiration for me because he's incredible. He's the best. He does amazing things. He doesn't let, his height or anything like that hold him back. So I've definitely always watched him. And then I try to pull from my background in gymnastics. So like I'll see something and then I'll think of something that I've done in gymnastics and I'm like, can this become this? Like, is that weird? How can I do this? And then how can I also like hurt, like not hurt, but how can I make it look impactful on somebody else when I do it and not just like a pretty little gymnastics thing?
Yeah.
So, I would say that Ray's definitely my biggest inspiration, but you kind of got to watch a little bit of everything and then also do your best to make it your own, you know? So it's tough.
I heard from a couple people from NXT and PC that you were at one point a locker room leader.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, I just thought it was so interesting because you didn't come from wrestling background to be so respected as the locker room leader.
I think part of it was that I was at NXT for so long. I was there for a lot of years, having never wrestled before. But I think also people, once they got the chance to know me, they could see like deep down who I was and what I cared about. And I think it was that I never tried to act like I came from wrestling, that people would understand, like, if I didn't know something or I didn't know what to do or I didn't know the right thing, like, it wasn't any type of disrespect. It wasn't, I wasn't walking around thinking that I know everything. And I think there was a little bit of respect there where people could say, hey, she might not know exactly what she's supposed to do, but at least she cares and she's trying. And so throughout the years, like, as, people got moved up and we got moved up to different spots of NXT. I think the people that came in, I knew how hard it was when I came in to NXT, and I tried to lend that hand to the people that came in. And I always said in the way, because even a couple years into wrestling, I'm still very new. You know what I mean? When I was in NXT and wrestled for 2-3 years, I'm still brand new. You're still learning a lot. So when people would come in, I would say to them, I'm not talking about wrestling questions, but if you have anything that you need, like, in the locker room, in the performance center, in your life, questions like that, I'm here. I've been here the last couple of years. So I think in that way of not trying to act like I knew everything, but also being there in any way that I could, I think people could, respect and appreciate.
There was a shocking news in 2019 that Kacy Catanzaro was leaving wrestling. There was a news that was plastered everywhere. 2019, right?
I forgot about this.
Oh my
I'm like, wait, what happened in 2019?
The news was that because of back injury that you might be leaving wrestling. But to everyone, we were all celebrating that she is not leaving. You're back. Tell me what happened.
Wow, that's like such a good question because that was so long ago. I don't think anybody has ever asked me about this. So I was dealing with a back injury. I remember it was actually right after the Rumble. So I had done the Rumble for my very first time. And something from there, thank you, it was super exciting. Something from that match, I had some sort of bursitis, something in my back. I don't even remember the real name of it. It was just something dealing with a back issue. And then also, I was about almost 2 years in at that point.
Okay.
And it was just, it's really, really tough mentally.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally. For me, not coming from wrestling at that time, right now at the Performance Center, there's so many different backgrounds. Like, they're doing so many different things. Back when I started in NXT, it was very rare that you didn't come from wrestling.
Right.
Like, it was very rare. And, oh no, I'm not going to cry. It's fine. It was very tough for me coming in, having not come from wrestling, having people just every day question, like, why is she here? Why did she get to come here? Like, does she deserve to be here? Kind of dealing with that, on the back end of also just trying to give 150% and prove that over and over again, So I feel like for me, I was dealing with a more serious injury than I had like since being there. Mentally, the environment was really getting to me. And while I was taking time off for the injury, I was thinking like, man, can I do this forever? I hadn't really broken out yet. I hadn't really had those moments with the crowd and with wrestling where I really understood why people loved it.
Right.
And I was just kind of in the trenches, you know, at the Performance Center in the trenches. And I was like, man, like, will I get there? Can I find this love for it? Am I going to be good enough? Maybe I am too small. Like, I'm dealing with these injuries. Like, am I too small? Am I not big enough? Can I keep up with these people? You know, the doubt was kind of getting to me. So I think that when I had that time away for this injury, and I was thinking, like, okay, when I come back, do I think that I could do this forever? I think people kind of just ran with it, like, oh, she's not coming back. She's not coming back. You know, and it was just kind of like, I wasn't ready to talk about it. I wasn't ready to say, yes, I have this injury. I think I'll be back in a few months. I'm not sure. I was kind of just taking my time to not let any of that get in my head. And so it was tough, but we made it back. So I'm glad.
Right. You know, pretty recently, you had a nose injury.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, wrestling is really like putting your body on the line. So, like, how do you make sure that you're physically and mentally, you know, healthy?
Yeah, I mean, injuries are definitely a huge part. You know, everybody can be as perfectly trained, as perfectly ready. Like, the one split second, the one split movement, like, anything can happen. We know that. And, you know, I've definitely had my fair share of injuries, most recently with the broken nose. But now I think I've really gotten into the swing of making my recovery, like, super important. We have made our house into, like, a recovery sanctuary. Wow. Like, my boyfriend and I, we have a sauna, we have an ice bath, we have, like, an infrared red light, like, sleeping bag. We have a bunch of stuff at home that, like, I'm like, okay, wake up, red light, ice bath, workout, stretch, recover. So it's like a full-time job doing recovery, honestly. So it's like I've definitely made that more of my routine, and I can feel a difference, like, just that my body's more ready, even for normal life, not even just wrestling, you know.
Wow. I think it's always so interesting how wrestlers bounce back from injury, and recovery is just part of their life, because truly injuries and accidents can happen anytime to anyone. And that's why I want to introduce you to today's sponsor, Morgan & Morgan, the 21st century law firm that's changing the game when it comes to injury claims. Because injuries are just so unpredictable. It can happen to any time, anywhere, and when an injury happens, a million things might go through your head, and contacting a lawyer just sounds so scary, complicated, and even unnecessary sometimes, right? But let me tell you, it's a must. In the unfortunate event of, say, a car accident, your first move should be calling a personal injury attorney. And the best part is you do not need to worry about money, because with Morgan & Morgan, it won't cost you a dime unless they win you a case. It's also super easy. With Morgan & Morgan, you can submit a claim in just 8 clicks or less. Just you and your phone and 8 simple clicks. Morgan & Morgan modernized the injury law process so you can submit all the case details, sign contracts, and upload documents, and even share your medical records with just a few swipes. And you can also text your attorney and legal team throughout your case. So make sure to remember this for unexpected events. Morgan & Morgan, with lawyers in all 50 states and over 900 lawyers, will be there for you to fight tooth and nail to get you the compensation that you rightly deserve with 8 clicks or less to submit a claim. You can submit a claim at www.forthepeople.com/ringthebell or by dialing #law, that's #529 on your phone. Thank you, Morgan & Morgan.
After return, we saw the tag team of Katana and Kayden. So tell me about your first impression with Kayden.
Oh, so, okay. It's funny, actually, because when she got to the Performance Center, they put us in a tag team match together, like, for a live event. Because when you were doing live events, sometimes they just, like, want to get more people out there. They put people together. They'd put us together for a tag team match. She was more experienced in wrestling, so she would kind of be like, okay, if I do this, like, what can you do? And I'd be like, oh, okay, well, I can do this. And we'd kind of, like, put things together. And it just kind of worked. Like, immediately, it just kind of worked. And we were like, oh, okay, this kind of works. And then as time went on, and, like, you know, whenever you're trying to look for a spot on TV and what's open, and are they doing tag teams? Are they looking for singles? Whatever. And they kept putting us as tags more, but then they weren't really putting us, like, on TV as a tag.
Oh, okay.
And we were kind of seeing, like, man, there might be something here. And then right around, like, COVID and everything, and Kayden was really like, okay, we need to do TikTok. Like, we need to get into it. And I was kind of like, I wasn't against it, but I wasn't like, oh my God, yes, TikTok. You know, now I love it. But I was just kind of like, okay, is it really going to be a thing? I don't know. And she was like, we got to do it, whatever. We started, like, you know, doing all these social media, TikTok videos and stuff. And then it was kind of like, it showed them the team that we could be. You know what
TikTok.
I mean? Yeah, from like social media videos, we were showing them, and like it kind of showed them more of our real personalities and like how we are as a team and how we could be on TV and stuff. So I feel like that really helped us kind of get out there is we had to show them like, hey, we could be a team, you know.
And I think wrestling fans have so much respect for this team because you can tell that you guys are always coming up with something new. The moves, you guys pull up like new moves every other week. That's so wild.
We try.
Yeah.
It's funny. So Kayden is definitely like, she has the big brain behind it where she'll find something and then she'll be like, oh my God, Kacy, like you should do this and like blah, blah, blah. And then I'm sitting there like, let me think about it because I'm the one like jumping from the ceiling, you know, and I'm like, okay, that sounds really cool, but like, can I do that? Like
physically.
It's like, yes, like, but what I appreciate is that she really believes in me. So like, if I were to see something and be like, oh, I don't know. She's like, no, we can do it. Like, we got it. You know what I mean? And she's kind of, I trust her as the base. She trusts me. And she definitely pushes me when I'm like, oh, is that too much? And she's like, we got to go. We got to do it. You know, so she's definitely like the driver of the like more out there, more like we got to push this limit, you know? And so she's gotten me into that zone where now I'm like, okay, well, what are we going to do this time? Like, now we got to, they already seen this. Now we got to show them something else. So.
And you have this legendary finisher, Keg Stand.
Oh, yes.
Wow. That is mind-blowing.
That was one of them too, where I was like, can I do this? Like, and then I was like, and am I gonna be okay landing from there? Like, you know what I mean? I'm
right.
Okay, I know that you can hold me. Like, I trust you're strong enough, but like, can we this? And then she holds me up. She does the twist. Splat. There we are. Like, you know, it was incredible. I remember when she told me about it, I was like, okay, we'll try it in the soft ring. We'll try to lay something down. Can we like land on someone? Can we do it? And yeah, now I love it. It's
and
so
you
fun.
hear the crowd. They go crazy every time.
They love it, which is nice. You know, we want to get them involved. So
I'm surprised though that you guys don't have a team name.
You know what's okay? Everyone, send us your team names because we do this all the time, and we do send also like team name ideas, and like we just haven't like gotten one that has stuck that we love, that everyone loves, that we're like, yes, we're gonna put it out there. But like every time something happens, we're like, oh, we need a team name. It has been 6 years. We have been a tag team for 6 years. Our characters have changed and things have changed, obviously. So like, I'm not saying it would be the same, but when you think about it, that's such a long time. So we do.
Okay.
We're working on it.
So it's not like intentionally you guys are not doing it. Okay.
Yes, I'm going to say that just so that it doesn't seem as crazy as it is. But no, we just don't have one. We just need one.
I'm curious though. So where did this like rave festival going? Are you a festival goer?
Well, so I do like festivals. I do like raves. I do like concerts, music. I like all types of music.
Okay.
So I'm like very, it depends on my mood.
Who's your favorite artist?
Right now, Sabrina Carpenter. But that could change. Like, it's like, I'm like, she's my vibe right now. Love her. But if you were to ask me, like, next week what my favorite song is, like, it might be a country song. Or, like, I might just be a little bit emo that day. And, like, be like, you know what I mean? So I'm very, like, on my mood. I just liked the vibe of what the rave and festival character is, which is kind of inclusion. You know what I mean? Like, yes, a lot of the raves are the EDM style music, which I do enjoy, but it's just the vibe of like everybody there is so happy. Like if you go to a rave, everyone's like, oh, here's a bracelet. Do you know where the bathroom is? Do you need this? You need that? Oh, you look so pretty. I love your outfit. You look beautiful. Like everybody's so happy to be there.
Right.
Everybody's just like included no matter what you look like, no matter what you're wearing, no matter how old you are, no matter anything. So it's more that we wanted to like encompass and like make everybody in the audience feel like they were a part of our party. Like they, we want them to enjoy it with us. Like everybody is welcome. You know what I mean?
Got it.
So it's a little bit different, but it's been really fun. So.
It's fun. I mean, the entrance too.
Yes, that's our favorite. We still try to do more. We're like, can we have this? Like, we're trying to get little stuff, but we're happy. We love the cryo guns. They're really fun.
That's really Some people are missing that little climbing you used to do. That was really cool too.
But you know what's funny actually is the main roster rings. If you look at them, they don't have the same.
Think about that.
They don't have the same pole to climb up. They're like really thick, from the
like LED screen,
the LED screens. So I remember someone saying like, when you get moved up, what are you gonna do? And this was when I was like starting in NXT. I'm like, I have no idea, because like the climbing was really cool, and that's why like at the Rumble I did the like handstand straddle up the first year because I couldn't climb it because I had to like do something different. Luckily, I found something different to do, but for my entrance, I was like, I don't know what I would do. Luckily, we have our tag team one, which is really fun, but yeah, if I were to enter by myself, I'd be like, I don't know how to make it cool on there because it's so big.
It is, yeah.
Especially for me.
I didn't think about that. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
if you look at it, it's different.
So the logistical issue.
Yes.
Women's division in WWE is just so strong. And it's stacked with so many different characters, so many athletes. How do you feel about the tag division?
I have a big passion for tag team wrestling now. I don't know. I mean, I did growing up. Like, I loved watching wrestling growing up. My sister and I loved watching it. And, like, we loved the Hardy Boys. So, like, I did definitely... I always thought it was really fun. When I got into wrestling, I don't know that I immediately was like, oh, I want to be I think I just was like open for anything. And then, you know, when Kayden and I got together and it really just showed how many more possibilities you have, like, you have your person out there, you have a friend, you have people to play off of, you know, the moves that you can do with each other,
right.
you know, having so many more women involved in the ring at one time really is fun. So for me, I love being a part of the tag team division, and it's really cool to see how it has evolved over the years, like how many amazing tag teams have been put together. And it's funny because I feel like sometimes like people will become a tag team and the audience will be like, oh, they just threw them together. And it's like, well, how does anybody become like
True,
at some point you have to be thrown together. You know what I mean?
Unless they're twins.
Exactly. Well, yes. And then that makes sense.
This is Bella twins.
Everybody else, if you're not twins, everybody else is just thrown together. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's funny. So it's interesting because, you know, for us, we were thrown together, but it was 6 years ago and people didn't see that because it was in NXT. It was so many years ago. So it's nice to see people put together and then them really grow throughout the years and be like, no, like that's how it starts. You got to give people a chance. You know what I mean? So for us, I feel like we're definitely looked at as a team because everybody sees us that way. So it's really cool to be a part of the tag team division, play off the different characters, and just get to try to innovate. We try to innovate, you know, we try to innovate as a tag team and show people like what crazy stuff can be done.
Right.
And like you said, just try every match to show people like something they haven't seen before. So.
Absolutely. We still think about your match with Raquel and Rhea. The way that Rhea was just like spinning you around, the chemistry was insane.
I was just watching that on Twitter. Someone like posted a reel like yesterday on it from the Mae Young Classic. I'm like, that was like 7 years ago now.
Wow.
So if you think about it, because I started in 2018 and that was that same year.
Yeah.
So that was a really long time ago. Rhea is just incredible. I say any day of the week I would wrestle Rhea. Doesn't matter what character, doesn't matter anything. Like, she is incredible to be in the ring with. Like, I don't know anybody that she has bad chemistry with. I would trust her with my entire life in the ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, having Raquel and Rhea as my first 2 matches on TV, I could not be more grateful for because I got to do such amazing things that I wouldn't be able to do if it wasn't with them,
Right.
you know? So,
I don't know. Run it back.
I know.
Run it back.
Name the time and place. I'm there anytime.
So we are very close to WrestleMania.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like days. You know, we haven't gotten to have our WrestleMania moment yet, but we're still up and coming on the main roster.
Right.
So I'm patient, but it doesn't mean that it's not super exciting to be there. Like, would I like to have a match? Would I like to have a huge moment? Of course. But, you know, that time will come. For now. Like, just getting to enjoy and see, especially the women get to have their huge moments that in the past they maybe didn't get to have. Like,
Right.
I still feel like being there, I'm super lucky to be there and see it happen. So I love WrestleMania season. 2 days is crazy. It's wild, like just nonstop action. Everybody just, it's a Super Bowl, you know?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
What's your WrestleMania dream match, by the way?
I think you might have just said it. I think it would be probably Rhea.
Okay.
I would say probably Rhea. If I had to think of a WrestleMania dream match right now, and then I'm trying to think for a tag team match.
Yeah.
If possible, I would say me and Kayden versus the Hardy Boys.
I thought you were going to go for like Bella twins.
Obviously, if possible, the Bella twins.
But Hardy Boys,
But
wow, that would
I
be
think
heck
just
of a
because
match.
back to my like way back
Right.
first watching wrestling, like me and my sister, like who did we love? Love the Hardy Boys. They were always doing the crazy stuff. Like I
Right.
feel like what we're trying to do, but like maybe like we're definitely a little bit toned down, but we tried to get people to watch and be like, oh my gosh, I never thought somebody would do that.
Right.
And so I feel like they were a huge inspiration to that. So I feel like me and Kayden versus the Hardy Boys would be really cool.
Well, what do you want to tell the fans that were, like me, gagged by the first time we saw you, and they're still cheering you on whenever you're in the ring? We were always so invested. What do you want to tell the fans?
I would just say thank you for following me throughout my journey. It has not been an easy one. There's a lot of different stops along the way definitely not even sure where the finish line is. Thank you for having grace with me when I maybe might not be out there doing what you want for whatever reason, whether there's an injury, whether the story doesn't permit it, and not forgetting about me. And also just, don't be afraid to not listen to what other people have to say about you. You know what I mean? Whether it be, no offense, whether it be somebody above you, whether it be somebody on Twitter, whether it's a coworker, whether it's, somebody that you look up to, it doesn't matter. Anybody that tells you that you can't do something, like, that's not about you, that's about them. You know what I mean? So don't let somebody else define what you can do. I've lived that my whole life. Being a woman, being smaller, whatever the doubts may be that somebody has about me, you don't have to listen to them. You can create your own destiny. That's what I'm out here doing, so.